Good morning, Willow Springs. I'm Ben Picarello.
And I'm Brooklyn Pipitone.
This is Senora Davis' 6th period Spanish class, and WSMS news starts now.
It's a 4-day weekend, Halloween, and a time change.
Yes, we turned back the clocks and gained an hour of sleep.
And there's a move to cancel STAR testing again due to COVID.
Football and volleyball face cancellations, but this week we gear up for basketball.
And finally, a successful and fun Red Ribbon Week as WS says, what's your natural high? All this and more coming up on WSMS News.
Welcome back. This is Willow Springs News. We finally had a taste of fall weather. Here's our weather report.
Hi, I'm Avery Schooner with this week's local weather. It finally feels like fall, this week with temperatures dipping into the 30s in some areas of North Texas. We even had a freezing rain advisory west of Fort Worth and snow in the Panhandle. This weekend, it will warm up into the 60s with an end to the rain and more sunshine. This Halloween will be perfect Saturday night. Don't forget Sunday night, we turned the clocks back 1 hour and gained an hour of sleep. On Election Day, it will be a perfect fall day with a high of 68 degrees. The entire week will be beautiful. Now on to Corey with national weather.
The governor of Louisiana declared a state of emergency as Tropical Storm Zeta turned its way Tuesday toward the Gulf Coast in the state, which has already been battered by storm after storm during this year's Pacific hurricane season. Zeta threatens to bring life-threatening storm surge along portions of the northern Gulf Coast by late Wednesday. According to the National Hurricane Center, the storm was expected to regain strength as it moved over the Gulf of Mexico. It may possibly hit parts of South Texas, but other than that, we shouldn't get any rain from these storms up in North Texas. With this tropical storm, 2020 will tie the record for most named storms to hit land in a year.
Thanks, Corey. And now for our top story. Many schools and government officials in Texas say they will be asking the governor to stop STAR testing again. This spring, here's Campbell Lester and Ava Haas and McKinley Seib report.
Many teachers and education groups are asking for the STAR test to be postponed again due to the pandemic. Mr. Parker says many students and staff would probably like it if we didn't have the STAR test again because he says we would have no way of knowing how we have progressed through the year.
The STAR test, as much as we don't like doing it, as much as we don't like taking the test, it gives us a lot of good information, a lot of good data on how we do as far as teaching and you guys do as far as learning.
He also says even if we were to take it in the spring, the data on learning and teaching may not be that accurate.
When you're in the middle of a pandemic and you have kids who are learning virtually and who are having to switch classes or switch schedules because they have to be quarantined. So we have teachers who are doing the best that they can.
Mr. Parker says it's not just the outcome, it's the preparation for it.
But they've never had to teach like they're having to teach now. And so they're having to learn different ways to do things that some of them have done for 20 years.
It's not just the teachers that have been affected by the pandemic. It's also the students, 7th grade ELAR teacher Ms. Moss says. She sees a lot of her students already stressed out in class. She also sees a struggle with virtual students.
This year it's been a little bit of a growing curve coming back in person, and it's great because it's going really well, but I think it would be beneficial for STAR to be pushed back a little bit more if the state agrees to that, because then students wouldn't have to stress about STAR as much and they could focus more on getting caught up. And I think it would be helpful especially for virtual students who aren't getting the in-class experience as much. It would kind of level the playing field more, and everyone would just be able to focus on what they're learning versus passing a test.
8th grade math teacher Mr. Goff disagrees and thinks it's important to have students take the STAR even though we are in a pandemic.
I feel like the STAR test has always been a way for me to know, am I actually a good teacher or not? And so, if all my kids get hundreds, I know I did a good job this year.
Goff also says they are already on track to learning what they need to know compared to last year at this time.
I think we would lose out on a little bit of the information of knowing, how well do our kids know algebra leaving Willow Springs.
For Willow Springs News, this is Ava Haas,
Campbell Lester,
and McKinley Seib reporting.
Thanks, ladies. And speaking of cancellations, due to COVID, Rockwell Williams says they will have too many athletes exposed to the virus, forcing the district to cancel games this week. We've been successful here at Willow Springs. Here's the sports crew to fill us in.
Yes, and so far so good with our athletes. So how are we keeping safe? Tegan and Cole take a look at our football program.
With the dreaded COVID pandemic, sports across the world have been and are being canceled. Our school sports, as of now, are still going on. We have precautions that we are taking to make sure everyone is safe.
We wear masks, and during water breaks we social distance, and we try to social distance in the bleachers and in the locker rooms.
Big name schools like Wiley and Red Oak have canceled games because of COVID. What is our school doing different?
Safe. We're wearing our masks. We are also staying 6 feet apart when we're not in our drills.
I think the masks work to help us not contract it from other people and keep each other safe.
It's definitely harder to play in the mask, but I feel like it didn't really affect us that much. There could be a lot of cases going around if we didn't wear our masks, so I think better safe than sorry.
Although these precautions are annoying, we must do them to keep everyone safe and schools from shutting down.
We don't have to wear them on the field in the middle of a play, so we can kind of pull them down. So the only way they really hurt us in a game is on the sidelines.
Sometimes I don't even notice it. It doesn't really affect me at all.
I'm Bo.
I'm Cole.
I'm Tegan.
Signing off.
All volleyball games were canceled too. Chloe Smith and Reese Wallace report on our success this year in our program.
The season was going good. I feel like over the past couple of weeks, the team has really came together and figured out what we need and the energy that we need in order to make a success in our games. And I feel like since last year, as all the football boys say, we have a lot of chemistry. And so we really just come together as one when we really focus and put all the effort that we have into the game. I don't know. I feel like we really overcame COVID, because it may have held us back a little bit with these masks and everything that we have to do in procedure to make sure that we don't get the virus. But other than that, it's been going pretty good. Some of the highs are when we bounce back in games. We might have to warm up a little bit in the beginning, but after that, then we're a much better team as one. Oh, wow. We're definitely more experienced. Since we all played club last year, at least most of us on A team, we definitely learned a lot more about the game and really how it works. And we really just know more about how to play volleyball and really how to get each other to play better on the court.
So far next week when we take on Allen Ford, the games are still on in football and volleyball. Basketball season is right around the corner. The next Thursday, November 5th, there's a Zoom meeting at 6 p.m. for all girls interested. Make sure your parents got the email and filled out a Google form. Middle school girls will try out Monday, November 30th through Friday, December 4th. Boys information will follow next week.
I'm Chloe Smith.
And I'm Ron Schrader.
The Cowboys played against the Washington football team and unfortunately lost 25-3. Andy Dalton, the backup quarterback, also suffered a concussion in the last game. Dalton has entered the league's concussion protocol, and his status ahead of the Cowboys' Week 8 clash with the Eagles is now in question. After Dalton was carted off the field, Cowboys' third-string quarterback, Ben DiNucci, came into the game.
On Saturday, the Rays tied up the series after a childish error by the catcher not holding onto the ball. The Rays won the game 7-8. They played the last game, Game 7, on the 28th with a crazy outcome.
The LA Dodgers went up against the Rays in Game 6, the final game of the World Series. The Dodgers won 3-1. The game ended with the Dodgers pitcher Julio throwing for 3 strikes in a row to Rays Willie Adams. This is now the Dodgers' 7th World Series title. This marks their first win since 1988. The LA Dodgers' third baseman Justin Turner tested positive for the coronavirus and was removed from Game 6 of the World Series during the 8th inning in LA's title-clinching victory on Tuesday night. After Major League Baseball learned of the positive test, Turner was taken to being in isolation. However, he returned to the field to celebrate with his teammates.
Yet another week has passed of college football, and the Big Ten has made a return, and after a beatdown on Nebraska 52-17, Justin Fields and the Buckeyes come in a debatable ranking, number 3 ranking, after only one game played. Another Big Ten title contender, Penn State, goes down 36-35 in the heartbreaker in overtime, where Indiana wide receiver Michael Penix stretches for the pylon to knock Penn State out of the top 10.
Thanks, Chloe and Rylan. By this time next week, we will know if we have a new president or will we. With that story and more, here's headline news.
The national election is just 4 days away.
Both President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden are trying to convince undecided voters that they are the best candidate. In the state of Texas, it is considered a dead heat. The last time a Democrat won the state of Texas was Jimmy Carter in 1976.
The Texas Tribune reports that percentage of Texas registered voters who have already cast early ballots are more than the entire share of Texans who voted early in 2016.
The Supreme Court has a new justice. Amy Coney Barrett is only 48 years old and could serve for at least 3 decades. Barrett replaced Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who recently died of cancer last month.
COVID cases are surging across the state of Texas. Hospitalizations are up in certain areas of the state, like El Paso. So far in our district, we are combating the spread through contact tracing, masks, and testing. Here's the latest update on our COVID case dashboard in Lovejoy ISD.
When we come back, we will see how our school participates in Red Ribbon Week.
But first, a commercial break.
We are so excited here at the Allen Community Outreach Center, and we're excited to kick off this food drive for Willow Springs.
In your fourth period SEL teacher's room, we're going to have these crates so that you can fill them with a certain item.
So we're trying to double our amount that we collected last year, which was just over 3,000 pounds. So we know we can do it. So I'm here with the NJHS officers. They're going to introduce yourself, and you're going to see them around. We're going to be encouraging you guys to get out there and bring some canned food.
My name is Chloe Smith, and I am the secretary for NJHS.
My name is Tatum Samuels. I'm the Public Relations Officer for NJHS.
I'm Mia Ray, and I'm the president for NJHS.
Our mission is to prevent hunger and homelessness for our neighbors and work towards financial stability. So your mission on this time is to do holiday food, and our on November 21st we'll be packing holiday food, and on November 21st we are doing a food drive just for the holiday food. Well, once you donate it, you notice that we are in our food pantry, and with COVID we do a drive-through food pantry now. So our volunteers will pack it, put it in a cart, and we'll deliver it to the neighbors that are here for food. Yes, we've seen a 250% increase in families that we're serving in the food pantry, and it's due to COVID and job loss. We are here to support our community, and we could not provide for families if we didn't have schools like Willow Springs to donate. So we appreciate our community supporting us so we can support those in need in Collin County. And I am super proud that you guys didn't give up this year.
Everybody bring as much as you can for all these people in need. Woo!
Millions of students across the world are having their education disrupted by the coronavirus. Schools haven't faced this type of disruption in generations.
Well, we never stop learning, so change is always the constant.
Ms. Perez is an 8th grade science teacher here at Willow Springs Middle School. Just like many other teachers, she is suddenly forced into the unknown with a mixed bag of classes and students. She has at least 10 virtual students mixed with a classroom of 25 to 30 face-to-face kids.
I have 16 face-to-face, 19 virtual, and then I have 16 face-to-face and 15 virtual.
That's the struggle many teachers say they are facing, the hybrid classes with face-to-face and virtual at the same time.
So I started teaching class and thought I was doing such a great job, and then I was like, oh my gosh, my Zoom students. So that's not good.
Micah Heron is an 8th grader and says so far she's only experienced minor problems with remote learning.
What are some challenges you've faced so far being virtual?
Some challenges might be like having to print off papers and just trying to like highlight and annotate in English is like, it's just very different from being in person.
Administrators at Lovejoy are committed to helping everyone have a positive learning experience, both teachers and students. And they made sure all teachers got their remote learning education certification through the TCEA over this summer.
I've been utilizing something called Pear Deck. Maybe everybody's experienced that with their teachers. But on Pear Deck, I can see that people are participating with the class and I can see their answers. They just pulled out the Aristotle, so that's kind of, we can look and see what websites people are on and make sure they're on the right place where they're supposed to be.
One of the biggest issues many teachers face is that most learning is done on the computer.
Instead of me flipping through some papers real quick and just saying, oh, they did it, that I'm going into the computer and I have to be hooked up to the internet. I feel like maybe I'm spending more time grading than I used to.
In this uncertain environment, it's important that learning continues.
So practice learning and be a good learner and tell your teacher if you need help, because we're here for you. We just got to know that they need the help.
For WSMS News, I'm Chloe Smith with Mia Ray reporting.
This is our last day of Red Ribbon Week. PALs have led a successful campaign with hosting a series of dress-up days and activities to promote the message to be happy, be brave, be drug-free. We put together a montage of students and staff and how they cope with the natural high.
I'm here with Nolan Billette, and are you excited for Halloween this year?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
What are you going to be doing?
I'm gonna have a small group of friends over.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm here with Hayden Hawkins. Hayden, are you excited for Halloween?
Yes, I'm very excited for Halloween.
What are you going to be doing on Halloween?
Playing a lot of Fortnite.
Thanks, Hayden.
I'm here with Garen, Bo, Micah, and Grayson, and are you guys excited for Halloween?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
What are you guys doing this Halloween?
Not completely sure, actually.
Going to a friend's house. Going to a friend's house.
I don't know yet.
Good, thank you. I'm here with Joe Horton, and are you excited for Halloween?
Yes, I am. It's free candy, so.
What are you going to be doing this Halloween?
I'm probably just going to stay home, watch some movies, and yeah.
Thank you.
What was your favorite day and why?
Mine was Jersey Day because I like supporting my favorite team.
Last week, we were all excited about Club Day, but it has had to be canceled due to rain. Because of COVID, administrations wanted to hold as many clubs outside as possible. If weather permits, we will have another Club Day in the future.
We just had our spelling bee tryouts. The actual school bee will be November 18th. Good luck to all the kids competing.
8th graders have been creating Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead projects. They create beautiful, colorful altars that celebrate the lives of loved ones. Here is some more information on this tradition.
Are they always sweating when I told you about it? They're smiling. They're always smiling.
El Dia de los Muertos is a Mexican tradition, a holiday that's celebrated on November 1st and 2nd throughout Mexico and other parts of the world to honor the dead and celebrate life. The 8th graders are doing what's called an altar. It's an altar with ofrendas. It is a special way to commemorate the life and death of their either loved one, a pet, or somebody they admire.
Do we see any blood blood or darkness on their skulls?
Mexico is the largest speaking Spanish country in the world with the largest population, and they practice this tradition. So we're learning about the customs and traditions of the Mexican people, who happen to be the people that speak Spanish more than anybody else in the world. Well, they've got orange flowers, they've got candles. The orange flower represents death, and like a sunset. The yellow flower represents light. The red flowers represent blood of people or animals. Candles are seen as a guide. There may be butterflies that are on there that represents people's souls. And you have things that remember the person by.
Halloween is tomorrow, so make sure you stay safe and wear a mask and have fun.
And don't forget, we have a 4-day weekend.
Thanks. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. That's it for our announcements.
Have a good day, and remember,
Leopards War is one. Roar!